Hello. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Debs. How's it going? And today I want to start a new kind of series I've been thinking about doing called PRER, Public Relations ER. So I guess just people that, have messed up and pretty in a pretty big way. And I just kind of think or give my take on what I think they could do to come back from it. So, yeah, that's basically the premise. And today I want to start the series off with Amber Heard, which is kind of funny because I talked quite a lot about the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp case, and I was Team Johnny. And I did watch back the trial actually pretty recently, finally. And wow, to be honest, I think that he actually got lucky that that's all he got. However, that's not to say that people can't learn their lessons or whatnot. And I'm trying to be a little bit more of a girl's girl. So I don't know. Yeah. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about Amber Heard. So she'll probably always be remembered in history as like probably the girl that really fumbled the bag in like the worst way, possibly of like all time. Well, maybe not all time. That's dramatic, but she fumbled it pretty bad. She was married to a huge A-list actor who was so rich that he owned his own island, which is pretty cool. So even if you weren't like attracted or whatever, like that's pretty lit. And of course, as we all know, they had a tumultuous relationship for sure. Did he cheat? I think he admitted to, yeah. And I also, and while, of course that's shitty, and I do also kind of think that it comes with the territory when he's such a rich and famous guy. And truth be told, I think that's just guys in general tend to cheat, unfortunately. I think that's just statistically the case. But it's better to cry in a Rolls Royce than on the bus, am I right? Yep, nearly all dudes cheat, so, of course it sucks, but like I said, I'd rather be with a rich, famous A-list dude that cheats than just a broke dude. And was he probably like absent a lot? Probably because, for work he traveled, filming movies and stuff like that. And, there's a saying like nothing in life is free. So, of course, if you're going to be with like this super famous, super rich guy, it's going to come sometimes with some cons, pros and cons in anything. Meaning that he probably travels a lot, you're probably alone quite a bit, which I'm sure sucks and can feel lonely. But if he's able to be with you literally 24/7, he's probably broke. Or he could, even if he works from home though, he's not going to be able to just be with you, hanging out 24/7. And yeah, I guess that's just like tends to come with rating rich and famous men, that they're busy and they got their own things going on. But I guess Amber wasn't having it, and her narrative kind of changed. She said that he always like wanted her around, he wouldn't let her work, but then also he wasn't really there and he was avoidant. So that's something that she tended to do, to kind of switch it up. But I guess that's not so much. This video is not so much on focusing like her past errors, because I feel like we've also kind of beat that with a dead horse at this point. It's more so about like fixing or moving forward, and what she could do or what we all could do to improve. But yeah, essentially, I guess she wanted to have her cake and eat it too. And I don't think there was a prenup, but I guess it's really not here nor there, really. But So I guess in the end of the defamatory case or whatever, she lost, at least the one in America. I know that at one point there was no prenup. Johnny apparently wanted her to sign a postnup at some point. Apparently that led to some fights. I'm not sure if she ever signed it or not, but I take it that she didn't, because she was saying that in the end she got $7 million, but she was saying that she could have gotten more. Which, I don't know, because I think they were married for not even, maybe like a year, not even. So, I think they would take that into account, but anyways, that's not really the point. If she was able to get more, I guess, like without the post-up, I'm not quite sure why all of the dramatics would, in that case, have to happen. But it could just have been that she wanted some revenge or whatever. She was pissed, which, as a woman, we've all been there. Like, maybe, I mean, you gotta reel it in at times, but we've all been petty. And yeah, whatever the case may be, in the divorce itself, she was awarded $7 million. And then after that, during that time, like just after the divorce, she was doing pretty well. She got like lots of endorsements, and she got, the gig in Aquaman. But where I think she truly went wrong, and this maybe could be helpful to us to maybe try to not do that ourselves in the future, or just general, is I think she just couldn't leave like well enough alone, because after the divorce, she got the settlement. People were like all on her side pretty much, and then she did that like little like op-ed around the same time the Aquaman was coming out, and how she went on to say make pretty heavy accusations, I guess, even though things were going pretty well, I guess. I mean, she was career-wise anyway. So after that, things took a dive for her, I guess. And I guess there's that saying, you gotta know when to hold them and when to fold them. So basically, just don't push your luck sometimes. And then after that, Johnny ended up suing her for defamation. And that cost her God knows how much, because you gotta factor in like cost of like lawyers and just life and traveling. But yeah, so that was very expensive. Then after that, she moved to Spain to live her new life, and I think she's a mom now. As far as I know, she's still there, but we haven't really heard much from her. Not sure if she's still acting or has any plans to act. So I guess the question is, where does she go from here? Where could she go from here? As it seems that most people would agree that she, if nothing else, that at least she was exaggerating, or she was also half of it. But not that that's the point. But Hollywood seems to have definitely pulled back from her, and people obviously didn't like her for the most part. So that put her into such a spot that she moved to Spain. And I truly do believe that people can grow, they can change, they can learn, and everybody loves a comeback. And so this is what I would suggest. If I was Amber Heard's PR agent, I would suggest a total, complete rebrand, for sure, but not necessarily in the way that you might think. We're in a time now where like feminine rage has become super acceptable. In fact, we're kind of loving it these days. Like, the difference is you gotta own it. For example, Ariana Madix in the Scandival thing from Vanderpump Rules, like, she was pissed. She told that chick, like, fuck you with a cheese grater or whatever, and we ate it up. We loved it, because resonated with it. She was unapologetic. She felt those feelings, and she said it with her whole fucking chest. And people ate that shit up. And now she's blown the fuck up. She's playing Roxy on Chicago, and she's basically living her lifelong dream to be on Broadway. She's, been on, what was it, Love Island as a host, and she was on Dancing with the Stars. She's doing all this stuff because she just said it with her chest. She's like, I don't want to be your friend if you fuck with my ex. Fuck you, I'm not filming. Like, she just didn't give a fuck. And there's something that's really attractive in that for people. And I think that Amber, if she does want to ever come back to the scene or to the spotlight, I think she needs to own it, especially like own what happened. Like, I would love to see her like do an interview, but like kind of an unserious one in a way, where she would say like, yeah, he cheated. He was trying to get me to sign a prenup because he was going to leave me, and then I'd have like nothing. And yeah, maybe I did, I did what I did, and he had it coming, and you do it too for a check. And she owned it. I truly think people would maybe see her side more. Like, think about like all the people that are blowing, like Anna Delvey, Gypsy Rose. They just almost like an anti-hero kind of thing. People would like it. Like, there's a market for that, honestly. I think there's a market for everything. And I think that she should step into that villain role more and not play this inauthentic character, because it's just like, it doesn't make sense. Like, because she tries to be like mysterious and say like, oh, I'm from Texas and grew up like on a farm, like badass, like, but then also she tries to play like, oh, I'm sweet and meek, and it's just, it's like, which one is it? I don't know. I don't know. Does that make sense? And it's just, there's something so inauthentic about it, and you can tell it's a persona that she thinks will sell more, or she's emulating or copying other people, and it's just not genuine. I could definitely see her doing like an Angelina Jolie kind of vibe, like femme fatale. I think that would definitely fit her best. Just the innocent role that she plays, like, it's not it. And then, for example, like when she claimed that she would donate all of her $7 million settlement funds, I wasn't buying what she was selling. And it's just, it was like doing like way too much. Like, I can understand maybe like, oh, you donated some, but like all $7 million, like, be so fucking for real. I don't think so, girl. It's just, it's over the top, and it was doing way too much in such a way that I personally never believed it. As soon as I heard that, I was like, I'm sorry, but I think she's full of it, because trust and believe. Ain't no one that nice. No one. You're not Gandhi. Like, let's be so fucking for real. And if she did like almost like a Gone Girl-esque role, I think that would probably like be really cool. And I know times have changed, and who knows, people might even start saying like, oh, she's so brat, It's like, people are into that kind of shit now. And during the case, they kind of alleged that Amber and Elon Musk were fighting over some like embryos, and she wanted to fight for them so that she could have his kid. And then she ended up having a kid, but I think it was via surrogate, but she never like said anything about it, who the dad was. Dude, if Elon is the dad, she should like lean into that and just be like, well, if anything, I leveled up. I mean, in terms of financially at least. With the child support, yeah, like I can't even imagine how much that would, if the baby is in fact Elon's, that is. And if she is a gold digger, I think she should like own it, like lean into it. People like people who own it. I think that's like really likable. When you pretend to be something that you're not, people get turned off. Like people can read that. And I think if she just rebranded to this like badass kind of like, I like to beat men up, don't fuck with me, like I shoot guns and I break in wild horses, and I think that rebrand would like really work well for her. It's just the selfless philanthropist. It's yeah. You gotta pick a lane, honestly, because those two things are like different ends of the spectrum, like different extremes, so they don't really work. And yeah, no offense, but I think she should also, if she wants to go back to acting, that is, do some work on acting itself. Like if she could do some like method acting, like go deep into it, that would be really good for her. Like I said, Gone Girl would be really good. Or I could see her doing almost like a Kill Bill vibes. I bet you anything Quentin Tarantino would give her a shot. He probably would fuck with her for sure. That's like right up his alley, I feel like. And in the case they alleged that she has like BPD or like mental health stress, like mental health issues. So if she acknowledged that, I think people would also be forgiving as well. And also, I just wanted to say, hold on a second, her inability to go a long way. Hold on. Also, her doing that would, I think that she should, yeah, like I said, own up and take accountability for kind of like what went down, and yeah, just own what happened, what went down, but make it funny, make it like iconic, and yeah, just be like, and what? Yes, and as Ariana Grande would say, like just own it, and yeah, just put it behind you in that sense. And I think like truly everyone can have another shot, and people can learn, people can grow. And I think a good lesson from all this is just to like make sure you're always your truest, most authentic self. And I think, of course, Johnny Depp, I believe he deserves another go at it as well. And I think in today's day and age, if she owns like, you know, her past and everything that happened, wiped the slate clean and just came forward as her true authentic self, I think people would really, you know, resonate with that. And who knows, maybe she'd become, you know, so brat and so like iconic. And that's why, for example, Paris Hilton has always been around and been so successful throughout all of the years. She just owns it. She's unembarrassable, and she's herself, and her authentic self, the good, the bad, the ugly. She's unapologetic, and that's, I think, what truly makes her iconic. And so I could almost see her like doing, like, if Hollywood won't accept her, or maybe she just doesn't want to at this point, I think that she should totally do like a podcast, like a bad bitch podcast. She could have like Anna Delvey or like Gypsy Rose. Or she could call it something like Guilty Girls. I don't know, throw Tana Mojo on there. Or not. And she could also talk, or she could also have like a podcast, a different concept. She could talk to other former bigger stars that, you know, quote unquote fell off, or so, as you may say, and that may be like in the same boat, or who are trying to make a comeback, like for example like Lindsay Lohan, and you can call it D-fame. Get it? D-fame. And I think if she became like more unserious and almost like whatever, like people making her out to be the villain, and all, like almost like lean into it in a unserious way, almost like exaggerate it, like I think people would actually really like that. It's like, you want me to be the villain? I'll be the villain. I think that would be a good move. Or even like an unserious dating show. I think that would be pretty funny, like where she tries to date rich older dudes. Whose wallet is it anyway? I think that would be pretty funny. I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you think that there's coming back for her? Do you think no? Do you have any ideas, any suggestions? And these are things we can all learn from, and it's always like a reminder that you can always change your story at any time. It's never too late. So yeah, just write your comments down below. What do you think? Do you like this series idea? Do you have any requests? Comment down below, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you. Bye.